Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am VJ no, I'm not. I'm Val Jean. And this is my world as I see it anyway. VJ is my crochet channel. So if you need some calm, some peace, some meditation, go over to VJ's Crochet. Yes, ma'am, I am here. I actually scheduled this for 2:30 because I had to take my packages to the post office, to UPS, and I went and voted and got home and realized that I had not eaten. So I had to eat real quick because fainting on camera is frowned upon. How are you and yours? And then I had to research the topic because I hadn't gotten around to it. I had looked at it, but I hadn't put things in the description or any of that. Um, I couldn't figure out which way I was going to go with this. Hello, watching, but can't hear yet. Why? Oh, you're not on the phone yet? Okay, I won't say anything important until you get here. Pebbly Pooh, hello, spreading joy, love, and happiness. Love and happiness. Let me know when you get your ears on, Jen. So while we are waiting for Jen, well, she says she can't hear us. So I need to wait until she gets her ears on because she can't see what's going on. We had a lot of things happening this weekend, and then the Republican senators decided that after Cory Booker's 25-hour filibuster, they were going to stand up and help. So some of the things that had been put in motion, they voted and said you can't do it. I believe they voted against the tariff on Canada. Oh, you're making yourself a late lunch. Yay, you. Yay, you. Um, they had the hearing for one of the justices that was fired because she would not pardon Mel Gibson so that he could get a gun license. They fired her, and then they were sending armed marshals to her home to serve her with papers, and the only one home was her teenage child. So she was able to get into her email, get the form they wanted to serve her with, and sign that she had received it so that they would call the marshals off. They were armed marshals they're sending to this woman's home. So that was an interesting hearing. Um, the and the only people there were the Democrats. She said this is not a party thing. This is a right and wrong thing, and everybody should be here. Can you hear now, Jen? Sorry, now I got lint in my mouth. I don't know how that happened. You got your ears on, Jennifer? So then I found this while I was pulling today together, and the link is in the description. I want to say that I was surprised. I'm not really. Yeah, I am surprised. Well, no, I'm not surprised. I take it back. I'm not surprised. I should have. I don't know what I should have done. I have no words. I really don't. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Let me let you hear it and see it. I cannot make this any bigger. And no, I can't. And we'll see what you think about it. I think it's a doggone dirty shame, but that's just me. Coley, hello, hello, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you, sweetie poo? Okay, add this to the stage. Take me out so we can make this a little bit bigger. I need a bigger setting on this thing. I'm how about disgusted? I'm disgusted because he's just stark stir ignorant. Let me go back to the beginning here. So this is what happened.
This was the scene in Vilnius, Lithuania, as that country's president, first lady, and hundreds of other dignitaries and citizens paid homage to 4 American soldiers: Sergeant Jose Dueñez Jr., Sergeant Edwin Franco, Private First Class Dante Titano, and Staff Sergeant Troy Knutson Collins. All tragically died during a training exercise accident while stationed in Lithuania. Our own president was not present to receive their remains in a ceremony known as the Dignified transfer when they arrived at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth filled in for America's commander-in-chief, who chose instead to travel to Miami for a Saudi-funded live golf tournament at his own course. He also attended a dinner reception there. His staff tweeted this image late Thursday afternoon, celebrating that it was almost Friday with a festive font, as those fallen American heroes were being returned to American soil. During his first administration, the Huffington Post reported that Trump attended just 4 dignified transfers, avoiding the ceremony entirely for almost 2 years after getting berated by the father of a slain Navy SEAL. This was the scene in Vilnius, Lithuania, as that country's president.
He's supposed to be commander-in-chief, and he did not have the dignity to receive the soldiers' bodies. Seriously? Okay. Hello, Darcia. Welcome in. Good to see you. How are you? Yeah, I keep saying I should not be surprised. I keep saying that I should have expected this because, he said that soldiers were, fools and whatever else he said. It's not coming to me at the moment, but waste of space. He's just a waste of space. Okay, so then, that he had spent $18.2 million going back and forth to Miami 3 weeks ago. So we can add 3 more trips on to that. He's down there with the Saudis instead of up here doing the job that Elon Musk bought for him. Come on now. Sam, welcome in. Good morning. I started late. I usually start this one at 2:00. But I finished what I was doing and I didn't want to get it. I had scheduled it for 2:30, but I had finished what I was doing and I didn't want to get involved in something else and miss it. So I just came on. I just came on. Hey guys, good to see you all. Doing good. Ready for my follow-up appointment at 3:20. Yes, we're sending positive vibes. But there are just some things that he wanted this office. There are some things that are expected in this office. And for him to shirk his duties, turn it over to a Fox weekend host who we already know is not qualified. And these men died training to serve their country. He has no couth, he has no dignity, he doesn't have anything. It's just sad. It's sad. So the link for this is in the description. He's just bad. And then yesterday he met with Netanyahu, because they are trying to spin it that the people really want to leave Gaza because it is a mess, so that he can go in and restore it and make it the uh, Morocco of the Riviera of the Middle East. And I thought Netanyahu was supposed to be a dictator and a bad man. Well, that's why they're getting along so well. He is the child that got what he wanted and didn't want to do the work. That is true. That is true. He is definitely a DEI hire. Did not earn it. Yes, he did. He wanted this office for revenge, retribution, and to not go to jail. He was really trying real hard not to go to jail. And we all said that. We all knew it, but all those people with red hats didn't understand what was up against the wall. They're learning now. Some of them are learning now. I think they had the hands off march this weekend, and it is estimated that 5 million people protested. Now, if all those people had voted, good, Jen. He is the reason we don't need performance awards. See, he is a dictator and a bad man. That's what I was thinking, because I kept remembering Kamala kept saying that he admired Netanyahu and it was a bad thing, but I had never really gotten into what Netanyahu was doing. This is a piss poor hiding. Girl. See, it is. It's pitiful. Then they are going around. My daughter got an email today. They have awarded no, they haven't awarded. They have offered people from the Department of Treasury a retirement package. So if you want to retire or if you want to quit, they have a retirement package for you. So think about all of the money. Hi, Susan and Sunflower. Welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. So think about all of the money they spent rehabbing Guantanamo Bay, and then they abandoned it. All of the money they spent on the military planes deporting these people. And now they're paying El Salvador to house the immigrants. And the women that they are scooping up, they're sending to Louisiana. I have not heard where in Louisiana they are being sent. Somebody said it is probably a privately owned prison. So they are paying to house these people. So the people who have invested in this privately owned prison are getting paid. And then the new thing, Trump wants a military parade for his birthday in June. And the White House says, no, he doesn't really want that. He took that off the table. But if he gets this military parade, it will be between 90 and $100 million. Talking about waste, fraud, and abuse. So our homework today, well, homework number 1 today, and remember, everything that we write on its own email so that we flood their boxes. If he wants a military parade, he and his rich friends pay for it. They do not pay for it out of our tax dollars. If he wants to go to Mar-a-Lago every weekend, that comes out of his $400,000 paycheck, not our tax dollars. He is the one that's costing all of the waste, most of the waste. He is a waste. Yep, it blows my mind too. It's just so disrespectful. Darcia says he admired him and the little short guy in North Korea. Oh, yes, they've been talking about him lately. As a matter of fact, it was the North Korea person's birthday parade that they showed as an example of what Trump wanted to do. They figure if there is no one to watch, they can raid the financial coffers, right? Because they've already been to Fort Knox and they've been to the Federal Reserve Bank. So they know how much money they can spend. And somebody says, well, he'll just have them print some more, which is what happened last time. Don't be surprised if the women end up pregnant. Oh my gosh. No, they won't, because they're not white. They're not white. They only want white babies. You know, that retirement severance package was being developed and in the works for months. You think? You think so, Susan? I haven't been able to sit down and fully digest it yet. The women they are housing will be baby making machines, in my opinion. Just saying. Slaves have to come from somewhere. Oh. But his platform was because they are thinning the blood. Their blood is no longer pure. And yes, the retirement package was in Project 2025. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. I didn't want to print that whole sapsucker out, and so I really have not read it in entirety. Well, I really haven't read it at all. Not too many white women want to have their babies. Elon Musk seems to have a plethora of them, and they're all being through IVF. Who do you think is going to work the fields? Yeah, that's that. Oh, well, now they want the children to work the fields. But like I said, they ought to get the homeless out there to work the fields. But that's my take on it. I haven't written that email either. So yeah, that's my thing. You know, scoop up the homeless, take them out to the fields, let them work for the day, pay them for that day's work, and then take them back where you got them from. Because yeah, I mean they're out there. I passed two this morning. Two, one. I passed the same one twice. That's why the kids are being born. The kids are only so good for so long. Okay, but if the mothers are illegal and he wants to take away birthright citizenships, how is he going to justify putting these kids in the fields when he wants to send them out of the country? He can't have it both ways. Look at them real good. Not all Elon Musk wives are pure white. I read a book one year that said if your family had been in this country for over 200 years, it's not pure white anymore. It just isn't. Susan said, I passed an encampment this morning, too many to count. My gosh. And here's the other thing. Trump is using taxpayer money to fund all of his jaunts and whatnot that he's doing. But they have fired, I don't know how many thousands of workers. So they're not earning an income. They're not paying the taxes. All of the illegals that he plucked out of the fields and deported, they are no longer paying taxes. Where does he think this money is going to come from? If nobody's working, nobody's earning, nobody's paying taxes, and he's spending it hand over fist. Adults have to go, kids can stay and work. Ooh. Yeah, but then what do you do with the kids when they get off in the evenings? Somebody's got to take care of them. He really believes that the country's money is his money to do with as he likes. He's supposed to be such a great businessman. We know he isn't, but he's supposed to be such a great businessman. If you get rid of the people who are putting the money into the coffers are going to slowly run dry. Oh, Darcia, don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, pebbles, not workhouses. Oh, my goodness. Ooh. So then they would have to redevelop them, because didn't we get rid of all of them? That's horrible. That is horrible. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not for that. That's bad. Because you can't do kids like that. You really can't. They will have the kids build the workhouses. Oh, Michelle. And the blacks will be next. Yeah. You have many empty buildings left from fire departments. That's true. Do you have them where you are as well? Because we have a couple of here. We have a couple here. And then we have one that, no, we have a couple. Not a lot though. That's bad. I hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope, because if they have them now, in 4 years, they still won't be old enough to work, and he'll be out. We have enough. Maryland is close to DC. Yeah. Yep. Many towns have abandoned buildings. We have a lot of abandoned buildings because they said it would cost more to rehab the building than it would to tear it down and rebuild. But, with the neighborhoods that they're in, nobody's wanted to rebuild. They're not in the best parts of town. Even the block I spent my early childhood on, which I thought was a pretty decent block, they tore down the buildings in about 2/3 of that block. And I thought the building that I lived in was a really nice house. Apparently not. Sam says they won't need to rehab the buildings if using for workhouse. Well, they got to put windows in, because the first thing they do over here is break all the windows. So they've got to put windows in and make sure that the plumbing is up to code, remove any asbestos and any lead paint on the walls. Sorry, do you think they care about where they put people? I kind of thought so, but I guess not. You're right. I still think of people having a little humanity and a little, feelings for the poor and the downtrodden, but apparently not. On Evans between Sarah and Vandeventer, block north of Page, and a block south of, it was Easton, but Martin Luther King. Okay, remember the photos of the New York tenements? Yeah, yeah. Windows, you act like. But if you want workers who are healthy enough to work, you've got to protect them from the rain, snow, sleet, and hail. And they got to have blankets. Nope. Codes will mean zero. Oh, gosh, Sam. I wouldn't make a very good dictator. They are not human. That is so sad. That is so sad. You grew up on Maffet? Off of what, Sarah? Keep in mind that his dad was a slumlord. Yes, that's true. That's true. And he didn't want blacks. This Trump didn't want blacks in his buildings. Not workers, slaves. Wake up, girl. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. It's just it's gonna take me a little while. I'm gonna get there because this is not 21st century mentality. It's gonna take me a while. What Jewish person was wealthy enough to work for the Nazis? Do you mean the little man with the mustache? 3848 off Vandeventer. Okay. Okay. I was 3965. Pebble says Trump went with his daddy to collect rent. Oh, really? Michelle says, let me know when you make it. Then the real work will begin. Girl, I hope we get rid of him before I make it that far. Healthy, not wealthy. See, bring back the Gilded Age. Is that why his toilet is gold? Yep, grew up across the street from Shoppers Thrift / Big B. Okay. True story. I've heard the stories. Yeah, his father was a real piece of work. That's why Mary Trump's father became an alcoholic and died in his 40s because he traumatized those kids. He really did. Now, I was holding the second piece for Chris K because she asked me to look into this, but neither she nor Crystal are here. I don't know if I should go ahead with what I have or wait until next week when I can gather more data and maybe she'll be here. So, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to give the little part that I have, or is there something else you want to talk about? His dad saw the kids as failed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but see that well, Back in the day, the men always wanted a son to inherit. So he would have wanted somebody to inherit from him anyway. Housing. I received my letter on restructuring accountability. Well, you know what, Pebbles? That's what it was on. It was on housing. Can you tell me what they said? We have blocks of corporate office buildings that are no longer in use post COVID that are being reconstructed for restructured for corporate apartments. Think of what they could do with that space slash land for homeless, right? Yeah, they could. They really could. Not him. Kids equal bills. He wanted money, not bills. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So sad. So sad. And then after Corey Bush did that 25, 24-hour, 25-hour marathon, he went on with was it Rachel Maddow and was it Adam Mockler? I think it was Adam Mockler. But he went on to have interviews after that. And he did a couple of town halls this weekend. So he's still out there pushing. I believe he went to his home state and did a town hall. And the people turned out very respectful and they had a lot of questions. Okay, yep, it was Rachel and Adam. See, I remember something, but I had listened to Brian Tyler Cohen, and I couldn't remember if he had spoken to him as well. I think he did speak to Brian. And Midas Touch is airing all of the proceedings that are going on this week. There's a specific name for them, which of course I don't remember, but they are questioning various people about what's been going on and their threats and whatnot. We think he didn't sleep till Sunday. Oh man. Oh man. The hearings are to see how the DOJ has been weaponized against the people instead of being for law. I'm back. My internet went out. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Okay, while Pebbles is typing, because I don't see where she said anything. The first thing I found was, and the link for this is in the description. It says DOGE-driven HUD cuts will make it harder for people with affordable housing / exit homelessness. And so, they're telling you about the cuts and the timeline, and all of these blue things are hyperlinks. You can click on them and get more information. But here it says Musk and Doge have reportedly called for discharging at least half of HUD staff overall, sometimes using tactics that may be illegal. Specifically, the proposals would cut 50% of staff in the HUD office that administers vouchers for public housing and Native American housing programs, which together help 7 million people afford housing. 44% in the office that oversees the project-based rental assistance program. which provides rental assistance to an additional 2 million people. So far, that's 9 million people. 84% in the office that administers homelessness assistance and grants that help communities build affordable housing and recover from disasters, like in North Carolina, and 77% in the office that enforces fair housing laws, one of a series of administration actions that will severely weaken protections for people who face housing discrimination based on characteristics such as race, gender, and age. So they're making it hard for people who cannot, like Mark Zuckerberg, buy a $2.3 million house in DC. So then they're, telling you the steps that they're going to try to go through, and even though some of them may be illegal. Meanwhile, HUD has yet to deliver any of the $3.6 billion in homelessness assistance funding awarded January the 17th, which communities are counting on to provide rental assistance, shelter, outreach, and other services to people experiencing homelessness. So they still have that money. While HUD notified at least some grantees that they will begin to receive funds soon, the uncertainty has disrupted community planning efforts, and the final awards may include abrupt policy changes that could complicate implementation. The administration has also canceled contracts for organizations that help protect people from housing discrimination and provide technical assistance that plays a crucial role in effectively implementing HUD programs, even though the administration provided no evidence that the organizations were failing to perform as required. So, they it's what we've been saying for the other things that we've looked at. They're breaking things that are not an issue. And if you have, okay, it's not this one, it's the other one. So this is by Will Fisher, Senior Fellow and Director of Housing Policy. And in the menu here on the left, you also have policy basics for housing. You've got the federal rental assistance, project-based vouchers, public housing, Section 8 project-based rental assistance, and the Housing Choice Voucher Program. So all of those come under that umbrella. Midas is airing the full commentary from Obama at Hamilton University. Okay. No, Pebbles, I was asking what did it say about your restructuring? Letters stated that when the new system is in place around July, new accountability will be reported for qualifying in the different types of Section 8 vouchers. Oh, man. I had to fight through legal aid to retain my eligibility for the disabled non-elderly voucher. It's been reclassified now and going to change again. I now have a housing choice voucher. So is that voucher better or worse, do you think? Because you like the building you're in currently, correct? You and Max. So while Pebbles is typing, the other article I found was from the Business Journal. Pebbles says they haven't shared much. We qualified in February. My lease is due again this month. Keep us posted, please, because I don't know what's happening there. The other thing is, let me check real quick and see. Oh man, Pebbles, really? It's not easy when you're in the middle of something and the person that you're used to working with is changed, especially if you've got a good rapport with them. That's not good on any level. Did okay, Ola Joe scheduled a live. Okay. So she's going to go live in 16 minutes. So we'll do this next article and then we'll do a Val Jean raid over to Ola Joe the Crocheting Sailor. Let me get this link. For Ola Joe. So I don't forget. There we go. I'm going to have to ask her to give me a parking pass so that I can just shuffle on over there when we finish. The other article is from, and the link is in the description. Is from the Business Journal. Wait a minute. Business Insider. A boomer who lives off $1,547 in Social Security and has subsidized housing is still struggling to make ends meet. And she says, I'll be working until I die. So she's in California. So the housing is a little more expensive out there for her. And this is her name is Linda Laura. Got off the wait list for her subsidized senior apartment in 2019. So that's the outside of her apartment. And she's one of those, she was helping her parents and she had kids and grandkids she was trying to help. And she's now 72 years old and she was pushed out of her apartment of 30 years after a significant rent hike. She found this apartment for senior citizens nearly 6 years ago. She was on a wait list. And this one is in San Mateo, California, 30 miles south of San Francisco. So she's not too far from you, Susan, 30 miles. And she's called that home for decades. Despite her below market rate rent, Laura still has to work 20 hours a week to supplement her Social Security checks and pay her bills. And she doesn't think she'll ever be able to retire. So when her daughter was 12, they moved into the 1-bedroom apartment in San Mateo that they were in for 30 years. She had 1 bedroom. It had hardwood floors, arches. It had an old Wedgwood stove. It had French doors that went out to the patio. It was really sweet. I would love that. I like hardwood floors. And that's her. She's cute. Luckily, she had entered herself in lotteries for low-income housing a few years earlier. And just as she was being forced out of her home, she was informed she had been selected for a 380 square foot studio apartment. 380 square feet. and she was relieved to pay less than $800 a month in rent. $800 for 380 square feet. And she says it was like a miracle. But the rent rises every year, and now it's $1,000 a month. I can't imagine paying $1,000 for 800 square feet. I really can't. So she works part-time at the county parks department, which pays her $2,170 a month. She collects $1,547 a month in Social Security. And if her payments are less, otherwise, it would be because she took the benefit. Her payments are less because she took her benefits early. She took them at 62 when she stopped working to take care of her granddaughters. And this one, he said, she says, if you are having trouble with your housing, to email her. Pebble says, I didn't see any links. Can you send in Messenger? They aren't saying much. Didn't send in. I didn't. In the description? You didn't see any links in description? You don't even receive that much? Yeah. Well, you can email the reporter and see if they can help you. So which link did you not get, Pebbles? Because this one, now see, the one problem with these is that they're so devilish long. That's why I put them in the description. Hopefully it makes it a hyperlink. I'm going to have to get that Tiny Bit app. That's this one. You see 2 links and one with StreamYard. Really? Okay. This is the one from before about the government housing. That's the one for the government housing. Not too far north of you? Okay. And then, let me see. This was my search. Did I close the one about, okay. And here's the one for the soldier's return, where he sent Hegseth. Lousy rat bastard. Oh, sorry. Can't say that on the YT. So those are the 3 links that should have been in the description. And then, the links to find the email from the Senate and Congress and their phone numbers and all that were on the first few lives I did. I apologize. I forgot to put them in this one. I'll try to remember to go into YT and set that up in my template so that it posts every week anyway. So yeah, so you've got a so then when you read the article, all these blue things in the article are hyperlinks that'll take you someplace, give you more information. And see, I just clicked on that one that says Social Security, and it brings you over here. We heard from 1,000 older Americans here, or have I opened up the last of my tabs? Okay. We heard from 1,000. Oh, yeah, you're going to make me sign up. Well, I'm not signing up for that. Scratch that one. So, yeah, sometimes they'll let you look at one. And then if you want to look at something else, they want you to subscribe. So if that's the option, then there are other ways to get around it. You're welcome, Pebbles. You are so very welcome. Yeah, I hope that helps because Chris K has asked me about that a couple of times, and I had not heard anything. Nobody that I listened to has talked about it, so I had to go out looking for it, and that's what I came up with today. We can do more digging for next week if you're still interested, or like I said, write to the reporter, and you never know what they can do. They have resources that normal everyday citizens don't have, and through their contacts and their word of mouth and the right words in the right ears, they can make things happen. I was reading a hair care magazine one day, and in the back of the magazine, where they have all the ads and everything, they were advertising this toy 9mm handgun. And I called the television station because I'm like, this is crazy. You've got this in the back of a hair care magazine. Any kid can order this. But if they have this out in the open and police see them with it, they're going to be unalived because the police do not know that this is a toy gun. And they came over and they talked to my girlfriend and I, because we both had sons who were about 7, 8, 9, and they aired it. And they took the ad out of the that hair care magazine, because I'm like, they're going to get kids killed. I thought it was a real gun. Okay, Coley, we're going to be leaving here soon because Ola Joe's going to be going live. But you have a great rest of your day. Um, Susan, Darcia, Pebbles, Michelle, anything else you'd like to comment on our last few minutes together? I'm so glad we had this time together. Andrea will be going live in 5 minutes. Or would you rather just end now so you can go get a drink, get a snack, and visit the convenience before we go to Andrea's house? What would you like to do? Oh, Andrea says if someone wants to come up and talk about their channel, get ready. She's going to share the link. So she's going to have people up on her panel today. Ooh. Darcy says, nope, nothing else. Just don't be surprised. Girl, I think I'm more disgusted than surprised, because it bothers my soul that people can be that cruel. It really bothers me. And I thought we were more civilized. To me, that's heathenish. Heathenish. I thought we were more civilized and compassionate. And this in my innermost being is foreign to me. You're really concerned. I'm yeah, I'm just disgusted that we went through this in the 1800s. We should be past this. This should be all behind us. We should not have to go through this again as a race, as a sex. If you're not a white man, you have no value. We should be past all that. And we're fighting uphill without weapons, but we're still fighting. We got the power of the pen. There are people who are fighting for us, and we have to let them know that we appreciate it and what we need and why. Because at the town hall that Corey had Saturday, people with disabled children were coming to him, and they'd stand up, raise their hands. They were introducing their grown children and letting him know that they live independently because they have a helper who takes care of them in their apartment so that they can work and do the things that they need to do to be independent. Because if it was, and that is being paid through their Medicaid. And if they didn't have the Medicaid, they would have to put their child in a residential group home, and the government would be paying more for that. Or one of them would have to quit their job to stay home to monitor them, and that would cut down on their quality of life. So they were introducing people, letting them know what their disability was, what benefits Medicaid was giving to them. Some had medication, like my granddaughter. I'm retired. My daughter's working a full-time job, but Shorty's medication is like $8,000 a month. There is no way we could pay for that. None. No way, not at all. And there are just certain things that need to be done. They want you to have these kids. They need to help you take care of these kids. I'm just saying. I'm independent due to help in my apartment. I get 30 hours each week. See? And it's an aid. And that's the problem with our government back in the 70s. They would do everything for you, or they would not do anything for you, but they would not help you do better. They're starting to come around and doing more of that now, up until 70 days ago. I guess I'm ready to wrap it up. I'm eating lunch and doing our taxes. When do we meet again? We'll probably meet again next Tuesday, because right now I don't have anything to say on Thursday. I haven't, because they're doing so much stuff. It's just not making any sense. And once I get irate about what's going on, the next day they're like, "Oh no, we're not doing that." And I'm like, so it'll be next Tuesday. Unless they do something really majorly crazy, then we'll meet on Thursday. Enjoy your lunch. I need to do my taxes, but I was doing other stuff today. We are going to do a BJ raid over to Sis Andrea's house. If you want to go up on panel and talk about your channel, she is going to drop the link. I will be in the chat because Shorty's going to be here shortly. And I want to thank each and every one of you who have spent this last 45 minutes with me. You could have, 58 minutes with me. You could have spent them anywhere, but you chose to spend them with me. And I do not take it lightly. Just give me my yarn. I see, Pebbles, that's why I didn't get everything done today, because I just got back from taking your yarn to UPS, and you should be getting an email with your tracking slip momentarily. Yours is in the mail. You've done yours, girl. I keep saying, I keep finding things. So yeah, you should have your tracking slip so you can keep up with it. Because I took all 4 packages. 2 went to the post office and 2 went to UPS, because I took them to the places that had the cheapest rates. They had the cheapest rates. Susan says, by the way, and unrelated, have you read any of Stacey Abrams' No. Are they good? No. I don't think I've ever heard of Stacey Abrams and their romance. Okay, write that down. Stacey Abrams. Thank you, Susan. Because I've gotten into those HOA Karen videos on the YT, and now I just discovered some karma ones when the people do something dirty to a family member, and the family member's been supporting them or aiding them in some way, and they cut them off cold turkey. Okay, Jennifer, bye. Thank you. Royal Mail has, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. They I saw a headline today that that the UPS, that the Postal Service has reached some kind of agreement with the administration, but I didn't stop to read it to see what was going on because I have a feeling it's going to change again. So I'm not sure what that is going to be about. My package to James has not been delivered, and that was over a week ago. Oh dear. Oh, do you have tracking over there? Can you track it and see where it went? It might be coming. It just might have taken the scenic route. It might have gone to Scotland first. You just never know. It took the scenic route down to London. I don't know if does your Royal Mail do that? Allow you to track packages? I always learn something when I do these lives that I never thought about before. Jen, if she's on the phone, this is going to take me a while. Or she might have written to me and left. Okay, everybody. If anybody has something that they would like to discuss next week, put it in the comments of this live when it goes live, and we'll look into it. Everybody be safe. Do the best you can to weather this storm. Remember, we're going to write about the parade, and we're going to write about the trips to Mar-a-Lago. I really wanted to write about his disrespect to the soldiers, but I know it's not going to do any good. You want to talk about the stock markets, girl? Um, we did one about Tesla. So you want the stock market in general? I'm not a financial plan. Well, I we'll see. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens because, and don't look at Fox News. They lie. They're the biggest liars. They are in um, Trump's pocket, and no matter what they say, it's going to be okay if it's to the right, and if it's to the left, it's bad. And if you ask them anything about the right, they are going to start talking about the left. Trump's billionaire friends are getting mad. Some of them are, but they're really not, because I heard a report the other day that said with all of the prices falling, this is the time where they're going in and they're buying a lot of stock while it's low. And when the economy turns around and goes back up, they're going to have that much more money. What it all covers when it comes to the consumers. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay. That'll be deep. Okay, stock markets and what it covers for the consumers. Well, you know that only counts if you have a 401k or a 403b or what one of those nonsense. Stock market as it pertains to consumers. Unless you want to take this time to refinance your house, but you'll have to pay closing and all that nonsense again. And like I said the last time, I don't it's really not a benefit for all of the fees you have to pay that I can see. But yes, your monthly mortgage payment will be lower. Yeah, and you know, Pebbles, who was it? Tabitha Speaks showed a clip of a family, and there was like 18 of them in a room, and they were all standing around doing that Trump dance. So at least that family is happy. And when they stopped doing the Trump dance, then they pretended that they were swinging a golf club. So yeah, those people at least were happy. So we'll look into that. And you know what? Did she go live? And I just nope, she's not on. I'm like, I don't have her on mute. Now it says, oh, say she's rescheduled to. Oh, she's having technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, she's having technical difficulties. Poor thing. Yeah, Darcia, you're not the only one having issues. So I'm going to end this now so everybody can get a drink, get a snack. I'll meet you over at Ola Joe's. Oh, Darcia says it doesn't matter if you have 401k or not, our food, clothes, shoes, daycares, etc. Yeah, that's why we started stocking up in November, Darcia, remember? That is why we started stocking up because we knew this was coming. We knew. And Michelle, would you be willing to do a little something about the daycare? Recap. Yeah. Okay. We'll recap. Because Michelle would do the daycare thing. Can you put the babies to sleep around too, Michelle? You think? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it and see. Cause yeah, Michelle would be good for the daycare aspect of it. I just plan on the quarantine. Like when we had COVID, I'm not worried about shopping or flying or doing anything extra because it's just not going to be safe. So, okay, let's get drinks. Everybody be safe. Have a great one. Love you all. Take care now. Bye bye.